Welcome to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs podcast. My name is Scott Carpenter. I am a personal trainer turned multiple gym owner and investor who's already been through the rock bottom and near bankruptcy in the fitness business. But I've been lucky enough to come out the other side and have turned the profits of my fitness business into indestructible wealth. I'll be sharing the no bullshit strategies, tactics, and advice to win big in business and in life. So if you're a gym owner, a personal trainer, or an online coach who wants to make multiple six figures in take-home profit and have the freedom with your time to actually enjoy it, subscribe now to this podcast. This is the show for you. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Scott Carpenter, along with me, Andy Boymilla. And today we are going to talk about how the fitness industry is splitting into two. And you're going to need to pick a side. We were just looking at some of the data out there, some of the industry news. Just before this, Andy and I were checking this out. And it's pretty crazy how it's happening on multiple levels on the open membership side. And it's also happening on the boutique side, which most of us are in. And if we look at the open membership side, and first of all, let's talk about this K-shaped economy. So rapid inflation happened since COVID, right? Rapid inflation. You hear there's a deterioration of the middle class, where you're seeing a lot of people that were firmly in the middle class are kind of like the lower middle class now, because cost of living has exploded, especially with real estate, rental markets, all those kind of things, gas prices up, groceries are up, all the money that was created by every single government in the world, which has not happened at this egregious level ever worldwide, has changed the landscape. And you see the wealth gap widening. And so what the K-shaped economy is just picture that K, and you have one set of people that are on the downward slope of the K, the letter K. Those are the ones that are really losing ground and purchasing power with inflation. Their jobs, their wages have risen, but not nearly at the same pace.
No,
not
remotely.
Pace
inflation. No.
Yeah. And that's the majority of people, right? That's the majority of people. And we're seeing this where people need to cancel because of affordability of expenses, all those things, right?
Yeah. The previous middle class is now becoming the lower middle class.
Yeah. I remember hearing a quote somewhere that the average price of a new car is up 30% over the last 5 years. 30%. Alone. And then look what happened to real estate. It's up even more, right?
I know, which I'm thankful I own real estate, but the thought of buying more real estate at this point is like, I can't afford the amount that I bought my first multifamily for 10, 12 years ago is half of what a single family is going for nowadays in my town.
Crazy.
I would have to sell both of my properties basically that I own to like afford a single family home at this point. And it's like, I can't sell my properties. I can't move because I would get pennies on the dollar essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a wild thing that happened, and it's unfortunate. And, it's not to say that everybody's losing out there though. Who won in this is the other side of the K-shaped curve, the one that's going up. And this is usually kind of like your top 10% of earners for the most part, give or take. But those wages have gone up substantially. And those are the people who are already making more. They already have assets, right? So they've got a stock portfolio, 401k, they own real estate, right? And because they've had assets that have appreciated so much that they are winning, and their wages have gone up typically in proportion as well. So you have the top 10% in the United States that are doing very well in this K-shaped economy. And you got everybody else who's losing ground.
Right. I feel like the wealthy are getting wealthier and everyone else is just sliding down a hill.
That's pretty much what's going on, right? And then this is where you see that knee-jerk reaction, whereas all the blue states want to just tax the people who are doing really well, like really high. That's not going to work that well, though, because they're all moving out. They're moving out of New York. They're moving out of California. They're going to these more competitive things. So you can't tax your way out of this. But we have had the wealth gap, the inequality gap, like really widen because of this.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit scary. And you see this in your customer base. You see that. And the issue is that if 9 out of 10 are on the lower part of that K-shaped economy,
Right.
what do you hear a lot in your consults? Price, price, price. And it conditions us to think that, man, maybe we need to lower our prices, or we shouldn't raise them in proportion to inflation.
Right.
Because people can't afford it. But here's the thing, guys, is that if you're charging the same rates you did years ago, you're losing ground.
Right. Because inflation is coming up, and yet your revenue isn't going anywhere. It's not meeting inflation. Your expenses go up. Your overhead goes up. But your gross revenue doesn't, because you're not charging any more. And then we go to charge more and everyone freaks out. All of our clients freak out and go, well, I can't afford a $10, $20 increase a month. Or all new leads coming in are like, I literally had this, I think yesterday, some woman lead came in and she was like, hey, want to know about pricing? I can't afford a shit ton a month for fitness. Those were her exact words. And I said, well, what is your budget? Like, I want to hear. And she was like, I can do $50 a month. And I was like, I don't know of any group fitness model that's like that nowadays. Like you're going to get Planet Fitness at that price point, which is fine if that's what works for her. And then of course, when we get that a lot, we as gym owners, as business owners sit there and go, well, should I lower my rates?
Right.
But then it's a race to the bottom.
Yeah. And you'll never win that game. Because your personal expenses has gone up dramatically, right? Even if you own a house, by the time you need a new car, your gas, your groceries, everything, right? Your insurance. And then on the business side, it goes up. You know, your lease, unless some of us are lucky enough to have, like, we're in a smaller area, it's a mom and pop place that owns the real estate, and our lease hasn't gone up in quite a long time. But a lot of us get the rude awakenings when our lease is up and it renews. They're going to put you at market rates. Holy shit.
The market has come up a lot. So a lot of commercial leases are like 5-10 years. So if your lease has come up within the last year or two, a lot has changed in the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And we've talked to a lot of gym owners that are like, I can't, like, my lease is up for renewal and my landlord told me that they're bringing up my rates and I can't afford them.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's going to be increasing $2-3 a month.
Yeah.
Like, right. What do you do? And then your utilities go up. I mean, energy costs are way up. Your business insurance has gone way up. It's all gone way up. And it's a tough spot that we're in with boutique fitness, because also, you know, large group, like the volume has gone down in this because of other changes in the marketplace, like GLP-1s and peptides.
Right.
So it's squeezing a lot of gym owners. And this is it. Like, you kind of need, when I say you need to pick a side, like, you need to figure out what you're going to focus on. And so let's take a look at how large group models are doing this. We look at Planet Fitness. They're on they go after the very low end, right?
Right.
But that can be a successful way to go about it. So they actually have the largest membership base in the world. They're over 20 million members right now. They opened 181 clubs in 2025. And they're targeting... that open access
model, I just read a study, their numbers are up year over year.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of that is because of the expensive boutique.
Right.
They're like, let me just get a gym membership, save, you know, an open gym membership and save a ton of money, right?
Well, we're also seeing a difference in the buyer, right? COVID happened about 6 years ago. 6 years ago. Wow, God, it seems so weird to say it was 6 years ago.
I know.
But gyms shut down. So what did people do? People worked out at home and they learned how to do it on their own. And now that we come out of COVID and people are like, oh, I can just go to a Planet Fitness and do this on my own. So we now see a new evolution inside of the buyer, inside of the industry as well. And that's not helping boutique group models or personal training studios either.
Correct. Yep. And then the explosion of everybody doing online coaching, which helps people do it at home, right?
Yep.
So you have that. And so if we look at it in open membership, we got on the bottom end, Planet Fitness caters to that very well, right? On the upper end of that K-shaped economy, who does that very well? Lifetime Fitness, Equinox. Those ones are doing exceptionally well.
Because what are they doing, though? They're going after the 10%.
Yes, they're going after the 10%. In fact, their locations, when they select locations, that's exactly where they pop them into, right? There's one right down the street from my house. Okay. It's beautiful, 3 stories, outdoor pool and water slides, indoor pool and water slides. They have full spa. They've got
Yep.
a cafe, and they've got like a coffee and alcohol bar in there. They're merging live, work, and play together.
Right.
And they're catering toward the mass affluent, the top 10% of the economy, right?
Yep.
And I think for myself and my wife and my 2 kids, I think we're paying north of $300 a month for it. We get a lot for our money, right? But yeah, somebody looking for a $30 a month gym membership isn't going there, and they don't give a shit.
They don't want that person though.
Right, exactly. They're going to be in and out, right? The minute gas prices go up, they're going to cancel their membership. That's not the base they're going for. The upper end of the K-shaped economy, those are the people that are happy to pay. They'll complain the least. They'll stay the longest. They will pay their bills, and you won't be chasing them down.
Right.
Period. Right? Some of those open membership gyms, depending on where they're at, are struggling a little bit too, that are in the middle. So in the middle are like your 24-hour fitness and those things. And a lot of those in Gold's Gym, some of those, depending on where they're at, some of those are really struggling because they're in that middle ground where people want the cheaper option or they're willing to pay more for that country club experience.
Well, and we just talked about it. The middle ground inside of the economy is sliding down a hill. So if you're targeting the middle ground, they're the ones that are struggling. So you're literally, your target base is struggling right now.
Yes.
Do you think that they're going to be willing to put up a lot of money to like go to your facility? No.
Right.
Unfortunately, having been in this business for over 10 years, I know that a lot of people see fitness as a luxury. We in the fitness industry know that it's anything but that's how a lot of people view us. And when things get tight, when bills go up, but pay doesn't go up, they have to cut things. And one of the first things people cut is a gym.
Yep. It is. Oh, we all know that.
For the middle class.
Yes. We all know that. When shit gets tight on the budget, we are the first to go out of any of their expenses, period, bar none. Right.
No, they won't even cancel Netflix before us.
Yep. I remember having a couple, Steve and Lolly, I believe it was. They were in like their 60s, kind of retired and stuff like that. They were first time they've ever done anything, and they were seeing phenomenal results. They were with us for like 3 months or something like that, maybe longer, 6, I'm not sure. And then they bought a freaking new. This was when the Tesla Model X came out, which was well north of 6 figures, like 110 grand, maybe something like that. They bought that freaking thing, and then they had to cancel their gym membership for budget. This is the priority of the average American, period. Right. It's the dumbest thing ever. Have fun with diabetes and, the last, 10, 20, 30 years of your life now that you decide to do that. Like, it's just so dumb. But again, people aren't fitness nerds.
No.
This is what they do. And they'll still have their subscription, like this lower end of it. They'll still have their subscription to Netflix. They will still have their subscription to HBO Max. They will still be paying their cable bill. They will still be doing X, Y, and Z. They will still buy their new $50,000 car, and they will drop us.
Yep.
That's it. And that's what's happening. So
how do we combat this? For those of you that are sitting here listening and going, okay, I'm in the middle. What do I do? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, because let's look at boutique now, right? I would say if we look at boutique gyms, the low end is like the large group, high volume model, right? Now,
and you and I have talked about a certain franchise that is not doing so well right now and has seen massive closures.
Several massive large group model like franchises are really struggling.
Yeah.
Really struggling because, again, it's that middle that they're going after, and that's getting bottomed out. Ones that are a little bit more resilient and catering towards the upper 10%, the mass affluent, are more of your small group, your semi-private, your one-on-one studios that are charging more. And they're aiming for the top 10%. I aim for the top 10%, right?
Right.
And those are a little bit more resilient, no doubt about it. But here's the thing, like, what if you're like, well, hey, my business model, like price-wise, is catering to the middle that's struggling. What the hell do I do? That's exactly what you were getting at, Andy.
Right.
So what is the best strategy for that?
Well, so you don't have to stop doing what you're already doing. But what you may not realize is that you have the ability to still target other people. You have the ability to still target the 10%. And I would wager to I would put money on it that a lot of the people that come through your doors, not a lot, a percentage of the people that come through your doors would actually be willing to pay more for higher end services. But
Yep.
they're not because you don't offer them. Now, I'm not sitting here and telling you to go add a contrast therapy recovery center into your gym. I'm not saying that, right? That's a whole different model. That's a whole different buyer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I'm saying.
It's a whole different business.
It's a whole different business. Instead, why not offer more attention? Why not offer a higher service that provides more that you can basically just add on to what your core service already does? Now, a lot of people have done this in the past, and that's when they try to add nutrition coaching, but they go about it honestly in the incorrect way. They don't charge enough. They don't deliver a well enough
They're still pricing service. It for the bottom shape of the K curve.
Exactly. Instead, what you need to do is you need to sit down and go, well, what is the 10% willing to pay for a program? Are they willing to pay $500 a month, $800 a month, $1,200 a month? And I'm telling you right now, for those of you that are sitting there going, nobody in their right mind would pay $1,200 a month for a fitness, health, and wellness program. You're wrong, because we know people do. And then what you do is you sit down and you go, how much is the 10% in my area going to spend? And then what do I need to deliver a program that is worth more than that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And when you can figure that out, when you can sit down and say, hey, I have a higher ticket that I'm going to net 1 to 2 new clients a month for this thing, but they're going to be bringing in $1,200 a month. And then maybe you've got a tier that's a little bit lower, right? People that don't need all of that attention, all of that service, maybe like 80% of it. And maybe that's $500 to $800 a month, right? That's kind of like your middle ground. That's your mid play. You can actually probably sell a lot of those if you know what you're doing. And then, of course, there are people that are going to want just your core service, your workouts only, and whatever. And that's fine. I'm not saying get rid of that. But when you set up a 3-tier system where you can ascend people as they get bored or need more attention, or even descend people as they're in higher ticket programs so that you can keep them, then you're now, all the people that have walked through your door that would have paid more, but you didn't know, are now going to pay more. And it's this 3-tier system that allows you to increase the ACV of your client, right? ACV, average client value. If right now your ACV is around 200 to 300, because that's what your core membership is, great. But what if we could increase that by adding nutrition coaching the right way, by adding things like GLP-1s and peptides and HRT? You can double someone's ACV. It's what I do all the time. I've got clients that just want to do workouts, but then they come to me and they say, hey, talk to me about GLP-1s. And when I get them on a GLP-1 or a peptide, it doubles their ACV. And now my ACV goes from 200 to 400, 500 sometimes. And that's no longer targeting the middle class. That's sliding down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you've got to learn how to identify the people who are willing to pay more and who need more help. And that can be on the front end when they're coming in, but it's also on the back end as they start with your services. There are plenty of people who want more help and are willing to pay for it to get
how many
better,
times have you
faster results.
Right. How many times have you sat down with a client and you're like, how are you doing? How do you feel about your progress? And people are like, well, I'm good. It's taking a little bit longer than I expected. Boom. That is a very simple conversation to have. And that is one awesome trigger to be like, hey, by the way, we do have additional services. Now, of course, some people can be like, no, I don't want to pay for that. That's fine. But if you don't offer it, the answer is always going to be no.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's not as hard as you guys think. It just isn't. I mean, you need to have the right tools at your disposal. You need to have additional offers for the people who need more help and want to get it done faster, or want more support or want more love or whatever it is, whatever they value. And you've got to be able to bring that out from them. Again, this could be an initial consult or a trial, but also they're going to start, you're going to send them up your value ladder.
Right. And could be a month in, could be 3 months in, could be a year in. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. And so the thing is like, guys, if you are on the lower end of things, and a lot of people still have group and they're still charging less than $200 a month. And in today's economy, in 2026, with inflation, this, that, the other, that is a very difficult game to win.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at like a hobby business at this point. That's when you're like, cool, who can I sell this thing to and go get a job?
Well, and that's the thing is like, and it's not to say that these models can't work, but if you look at the numbers, it's not an easy game to play.
Yeah.
Right. When you're charging under $200 a month and your overhead, your expenses are like 15 grand because you've got a 9,000 square foot facility, like it's a numbers game for you. You need volume. And unfortunately, in today's world, volume is hard.
Yeah. And listen, if you're in a very dense urban market and stuff like that, you're doing fine with high volume, low price. Great, good for you.
Awesome.
That's not the vast majority of people at all. No. And even if you are that model, you can start to double your profits because you don't need to have any more people.
Right.
Learn how to talk to them and move them up the value ladder with some awesome offers. Period. They already know, like, and trust you and give you money.
And there's always people that will pay for ease and speed. Always.
Always. Always. And here's the thing. I call them G-Wagon clients, guys, right? The type of person who gets a new G-Wagon every 3 years just because they want a new one every 3 years, right? They just want a newer car. They love the G-Wagon. They don't negotiate the price. They sell above MSRP. They're on a waiting list. Those are the people who value time and a better product and a better service, and they're willing to spend the money on it. It's worth it. It's worth it to them. Those G-Wagon clients, and those ones are the ones that can pay you 25 grand a year or more, double that. And so the thing is do you know how to identify those people? And do you know how to offer something where like, hell yeah, sign me up for that? Because that's all these things are. It's so easy. I know you're fighting like hell and bending over backwards to get that one person who you're hooking up with a deal at $149 a month, and so you don't put up a zero on the board. I get it. That's that scarcity mindset. But that scarcity mindset. Those of you that
can't see what I'm doing, I'm rolling my eyes as Scott is talking about this, because not only are you bending over backwards for this person, but I know with 100% certainty they're going to be one of the biggest pains in your ass ever.
Of all time.
And ask me how I know.
Oh, yes. You know what? I'm going to be out next week. So can we put this on pause?
Right.
Can I get a refund on, I mean,
I'm only going to be here for half the month. Can I pay for half the month?
Yeah. It's always those guys.
Always.
And, it's a pain in the ass. But everybody knows innately that the people who pay the most are the easiest to work with. They say thank you. They value what you do. They appreciate what you do, and they pay their bills every month.
Yep.
It's the people who you bent over backwards for, that you've given deals to, that have the lowest rates, that are the biggest pains in the asses, and they're entitled. Mm-hmm. They're entitled. They will tell you how much they're paying you and what that should entitle them to, right? And I get it, it's hard sometimes. They might have been with you for 7 years, but they think they are like a partial owner of the place. And you owe them for being a customer for 7 years, paying the lowest fucking rate. God, did I hate that shit.
So anyway, before we get on a tirade, and before I'm like, my blood is literally
boiling. I know. I saw you look off into the distance.
I'm like, I'm trying not to just explode, because again, I've been there. We've been there. I know what it's like. I've tried to race to the bottom. It is an awful game to play. So once again, at the end of the day, if you're feeling the squeeze, if you feel like things are really, really hard right now, you're not wrong. And it's not just you. But there are ways to come out of this on the other end. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to offer higher ticket items. Now, what defines a higher ticket item is completely up to you and your business. And there is plenty of room both up and down as far as what's considered a high ticket, what to include in these programs. And I know it can be overwhelming. So if at any point in time you guys are ever curious and you want these things built out for you, just reach out to us. Shoot Scott an email, shoot me an email, reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Find me some way, shape, or form. I'm not hard to find. Say, Andy, I need help building out a 3-tier offer. I would love to sit down and chat with you because they're fun to build out. And I love, even if you have a 3-tier offer and you're like, is mine good? I'll sit down and evaluate that, because that's fun too. I love sitting down and being like, you need to charge more. And then people charge more, and then it works and it's wonderful. And I am so happy because we just want to see you guys succeed. And we know how hard it can be. So reach out to us, please.
And acquisition is tough, guys. I mean, it's hard to get people indoors right now. It really is. And you need to play a more winnable game. And you know what, Andy? we kind of talked about the economy on this one. Let's record the next podcast episode. Let's talk a little bit more in depth on really how to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
For those of you listening to this one, tune in next week because we'll kind of expand on what we talked about and a little bit more to how to structure, position, and kind of market and sell some of these mid and high ticket programs in addition to your core offer.
Right.
So we'll talk about that on the next one, guys. Appreciate you guys listening in. Don't panic. You don't have to, if your model is more large group, high volume, that's okay. You don't need to blow up your model. You don't need to make any radical changes. You just need to add on some offers for the people who want to pay you more for better or faster service or whatever it is. So we'll get into that in the next episode. Appreciate you guys listening in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Listen, if you're stuck and could use some advice in your business, whether you're just starting out, a veteran in the business, or expanding online or into multiple locations, you can hop on a free call with us to pick our brains at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. You can see that in the show notes. That is with numbers. Chances are we'll be able to help you get some clarity on what you need to do specifically in your business to get to the next level. It's not a sales call. We'll connect you with the right resources to help you solve your problems. But if you want to learn more about working with us, that's cool too. We can share that information should you want it. So book your call now to get out of the rat race before your week consumes you, which is easy to do at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. That's with the number 1 on the number 1 call. You can find this in the show notes. See you soon.